think we will all become very upset because we will become discouraged in our devotional service. So, physical sadhu sangha and sadhu sangha of the heart is very important. But where it is not available, use all other facilities to somehow or other remember Krishna. Rupa Goswami is very smart. He uses the word somehow or other. Somehow means yes, but other means by hook or by crook. We should somehow or other try to find ways to hear about Krishna. That's what we do. I hope that's useful. So we stop here. Lalita Prabhu, is there anything? Prabhu, many senior devotees are here. It'd be nice for me to hear some realizations or something that you feel.
With no rush, I mean, if there are more things to say.
Question.
But
yes.
Maybe I'm just always curious when we get guests. How is life in Singapore? What's them doing? How is?
Yes, life in Singapore. Yeah. There's a question. Maybe I take that and then I can share with you. Prabhu, you have a question.
Yes. Could you explain why Krishna's feet or his pure devotees are compared to the lotus flower?
Ah, yeah.
What
That's
is the
also
special reason?
yes. Actually, there are two reasons for it. The first is the lotus flower is very wonderful because it grows in muddy swamps. So even though the lotus is very beautiful, the surroundings of the lotus are not very nice. But the lotus maintains its purity. So in the same way, Krishna's feet are always touching this ground. But because Krishna is pure, every part of him is pure. So that's why his lotus feet is special. Because it gives us the understanding that we also, the word in Bhagavad Gita is Padma Patram Ivambasaha. It is in the 5th chapter, 10th verse. There Krishna is telling Arjuna, you have to work in the world just like a lotus flower. It grows amidst the muddy swamps, but it is not touched. It is pure. So the lotus feet of the Lord is like that. The Lord has created this world which is material by nature, but he is untouched by the material dirt that is in the world. So therefore his lotus feet is very precious, because wherever he goes, the touch of his lotus feet purifies that place. So his lotus feet is found in Srimad Bhagavatam. His lotus feet is found in devotional service. We are performing devotional service in the midst of that which is completely material. But despite all the material energy around us, when we are together in devotional service, it still is very purifying. So that is why the lotus feet is a very powerful understanding of how pure and how wonderful it is that Krishna has given us this idea how to live in this world. We cannot escape the dirt, but if we follow devotional service, we can maintain purity. The second reason is also very important. When we bow before the lotus feet of Krishna, we actually are forced to become humble. Because if you just look at someone and speak to him and you don't bow down, it's very easy subtly to always feel that I am his equal. When you talk to someone, you just address each other, you shake hands, then the feeling subtly is, I'm your equal, you're my equal. But when you fall before Krishna's feet, then you are definitely telling your mind that I am nowhere near equal to Krishna. And his lotus feet are worth falling because they purify the entire universe. So it induces within the heart of the devotee the great important quality of humility. And with humility will come tolerance. And this too will actually attract Krishna very much. So that is the significance of his lotus feet. Is that helpful?
Yeah, thank you.
In Singapore, we are not very fortunate because, fortunate or not fortunate, we don't know, but we don't have the facility to have Harinam. ISKCON in Singapore is officially banned. The reason it was banned is also very sad. Because after Prabhupada left this world, some devotees came to Singapore to preach. And when they came through, they came and met the Hindu community. And the Hindu community were very impressed with them because they were from the West. And they organized programs for them in the existing Hindu temples in Singapore. But what happened was, these devotees in their enthusiasm, nothing in their hearts but in their enthusiasm, they preached the glories of Krishna in such a way that they condemned the demigods. And the condemnation of the demigods was actually done in the temples of the demigods. So not very wise thing to do, you know. So you go to Lord Shiva's temple and the Hindu community says, come and speak, we are very happy to have you. And then you start by saying, Shiva is this, Shiva is that. So after 1-2 hours, you know, everyone, the Hindu community wrote a long petition letter to the government and said, we don't want these people, we don't want this philosophy, because it will disturb our community. So ever since then, you know, somehow the government had this idea that ISKCON is made up of people who may cause disturbance. Unfortunately, they were not exposed to the real beautiful philosophy. And our philosophy is very simple. Krishna is the root of everything. We respect all devatas, but we understand where they are and where they should be. Like administrators, they are much more greater than us. Who are we? But at the same time, Krishna is great. So today, after 25-30 years, we have understood that the best way to preach in Singapore is actually to glorify Krishna, not by condemning others, but to glorify Krishna, because Krishna himself is so great that you don't really need to put someone else down to glorify Krishna. Krishna stands on his own achievements, and that is enough. So what happened was, after that, a few other devotees started coming, and they started having some programs in the house. They met more people in Singapore, and today, after 20-25 years of effort, there is much more understanding that Krishna consciousness is not some fanatical movement. The government in Singapore doesn't want fanatical movements because it's a small country, 16 miles by 25 miles. That is Singapore. And we have 5 million people. So 5 million people in 16 miles by 25 miles. If you have a riot at one corner of Singapore, in 15 minutes the other end will also have the riot. So we have to be very careful. So we still cannot chant on the streets, we can't do Harinam, we can't do book distribution, but we can do Sashtradan, for example. We can actually get sponsors to get Bhagavad Gitas. We speak to people who own restaurants and book shops and put books, and that's how we are giving out Prabhupada's books. But at the same time, we can also do book distribution. If we go to temples and have festivals and ask them for a book table, then we can do something. We can't do Harinam on the street. In fact, no religion can do any religious procession. It's only 1 or 2 per, only on rare occasions, but they don't allow. So we do Rath Yatra, but we book an open air football stadium, and then we invite 3,000 people to the stadium, and then we go round the track, maybe 7 times or 9 times, depending on the kirtan and the ecstasy of the devotees. And then we get everyone to be there. We set up a big festival. You know, we have book table, we have paraphernalia, and then we do preaching all within the stadium. That is a way to beat the system. So we're not on the street, we're within a place, but it's big enough to have many people. So like this, we do 3 Rath Yatras in a year in Singapore. And somehow Krishna is very kind. He allows us to do that. And there is one chariot procession for the Devata known as Lord Kartikeya. He's very famous in Singapore. There's a festival known as Thaipusam. It's a South Indian festival where they actually pierce themselves and they carry big chariots. So they go out in Singapore on the main streets. The government allows them because they were the first. This was the first religion, first part of Hinduism that came to Singapore. So historically they allow that. So what we've been doing for the past 10 years is we buy a ticket, and while everybody pierces themselves and walk from one end to another place, we bring a small chariot of Jagannath and we put deities this size, and then we pull Jagannath and we tell them this is our austerity for Lord Kartikeya. So they say, okay, that's fine, it looks nice, you know. And we all are very peaceful, we dress like this, dhoti kurta, and we do kirtan in a very orderly manner. So they like that, and we get a chance to finally do it on the street, which is a big thing for us, you see. But somehow by Krishna's mercy, today we are registered legally, but not as ISKCON, as Gita Reading Society. So everyone knows we're ISKCON, but we call ourselves Gita Reading Society. And by Krishna's mercy, we also have hired a building, which is 3 floors. So every Saturday is our feast program. And on Sundays we have 300-400 Bengali devotees. They are migrant, they are workers in Singapore. So Sunday is the only day they get time. So they come together and the entire center is used for a Bengali program. But on Saturday is the program for all the other devotees. So we gather. So we have about maybe 200, 250 devotees coming together on a weekend program. And then we have a good children's program running. So when the parents come, we have about 60, 70 children. And we have a children's program called Gopal's Garden. So there the children are taught for 1 hour downstairs. All their parents are free. They come upstairs, they hear Bhagavad Gita. And then we serve prasadam. We have Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra deities. But we have no full-time devotees. So what we do is we are all on roster basis. So Shrine Aarti, Gaura Aarti, midday, and Guru Puja and Mangala Aarti. So we have team A, team B, team C, team D. And each team has 4 devotees. So 2 to do Aarti and 2 to sing. So that way we maintain a roster. It's good because in one way, everyone is engaged. Everyone has to come to the center. We cannot depend on any devotee who's staying there. So we have to constantly be on our toes. And somehow or another Jagannath is so kind that he's just keeping us going. Then we have outreach programs. We have programs for the youths that goes on every week, for the girls separately, for the boys separately. We have for the children. We have spiritual retreats twice a year. We go to a big bungalow and we get Maharajas coming through. We are very lucky because despite Singapore's strict laws, we have one sannyasi every year. For every month we have one sannyasi. So minimum we have is 12 gurus coming through. And the congregation is very diverse. We have disciples of at least 17 gurus in our congregation. So the good news is we have 17 Vyas Pujas. And that gives a spirit of harmony because everyone's Guru's Vyas Puja becomes everybody else's. Everyone cooperates. So that gives that sense of coming together. And this year, Krishna is so kind, Prabhupada is so kind. His Holiness Subhag Maharaj came and he, with the permission of our GBC, we have installed Srila Prabhupada Murti, life size, in the center. So Prabhupada is there now, and that is giving us a lot of strength and a lot of hope. So yes, Prabhu, that's how we are trying to go on. Yes.
Make a little protest against that you're not full-time devotees. There's so many full-time devotees.
Yes.
And, probably not accept this.
Yes.
Full-time devotee is someone who thinks of Krishna all the time. That's a full-time devotee.
That is great.
There's no other definition.
That is the real definition of full-time devotees. So in that sense, Krishna is very kind. He's giving all of us an opportunity to serve. Yes, Mother.
This that you are getting so many different gurus there, is that a conscious endeavor to invite them?
Yes.
Or did it just happen?
Well, in the beginning they came through because Singapore is a good stopover. Everywhere you go, you want to go Australia, New Zealand, you come through. You want to go Middle East, you come through. It's easy to stop over. But now what we do is we fix them and we request them to please come through. The reason we do that is we want the congregation to be exposed to as many, of many exalted devotees as possible, so that they get inspired by them, and we get the opportunity to learn from them, and all of them have the same message, and that is glorification of Prabhupada and devotional service. So when all different spiritual masters, disciples hear that all their spiritual masters are concentrating on one point, then for leaders it becomes very good because we get the cooperation of everyone. We don't have fault lines because sometimes fault lines can be there based on differences in thinking and ideology, and we don't want that because already in Singapore it's so hard to practice Krishna consciousness. We also had, we had an ISKCON temple for many years, which was before in the 80s, but it turned Ritvik. And we had to deal with that for years. We still have to deal with it. But it keeps us on our toes, because it makes sure that, we are firm in what we believe in. So that's how it helps.
How many initiated devotees are there?
Initiated devotees, I would say about anywhere between 180 to 200. In the beginning part, Tamakrishna Maharaj was our GBC, so there are many Tamakrishna Maharaj disciples, Lokanath Maharaj disciples, Govinda Maharaj disciples, Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj disciples, Bhakti Chaitanya Maharaj disciples, Subhav Maharaj disciples, Bhakti Vikas Maharaj disciples, Bhakti Charu Maharaj disciples, Jayapataka Maharaj disciples, Kavichandra Maharaj disciples, Vedavyas Priya Maharaj disciples. So we have, it's nice. It's a big family. Big family. So when we want to do all these offerings, for Vyas Pujas, it's very easy. It doesn't matter whose disciple you are. You're all disciples, right? So we come together. Every Guru Maharaj disciple, Vyas Puja is your Guru Maharaj Vyas Puja. What is the difference? The beauty of unity in diversity principle in Prabhupada's Krishna conscious movement is we celebrate diversity. When we celebrate diversity, as long as we are all in line with Acharya, it is wonderful. You bring something to the table, you bring something to the table, you bring something to the table. So that helps. But one thing that's very important is when we see a fault, we have to nip it in the bud very quickly. Otherwise it will just grow. It will grow like a wound, it just grows. Mataji, sorry, you
just answered my question.
Oh, okay, fine.
I was just wondering about this. You said that you should cut in with Vyasa Puja.
Yes. Yes. So that helps. Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes it's very private.
Right. But the good thing is, Kavichandra Maharaj, our GBC, he felt that because we are a center and we can't have private programs so much and have 80 people in a house, because the moment somebody complains, then it's very difficult. So the center becomes really our refuge. It's the place where we can all be. So it helps us. So we end there. Should we chant for 5 minutes before we
Nice. Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Prabhu, for having us. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
No, very
Thank you
nice.
for coming. It's,
I just want to say I'm always very inspired to come to Denmark, Copenhagen. I don't say that because I'm coming. I say that because it really helps my own sadhana. And I think that's very important. Oh, sorry, Mataji, you had a question, yes.
Prabhu, you just told about the story of Ambarish Maharaj,
Yes.
that Krishna has sent his Sudarshan Chakra.
Yes.
And then what is about Draupadi? She was inserted in the whole, among so many members.
Yes.
But she got help after a long time.
That's a very good question. The reason actually is found in Sastras. Jiva Goswami, I am told, because I heard this from Bhakti Charu Maharaj and a few other sannyasis who asked this question. Jiva Goswami says that all the great devotees of the Lord are sent by the Lord to this world to teach us different facets of devotional service. So when Parikshit Maharaj appears to be cursed, it is not that he is in a state of misfortune. Krishna will never put a devotee in difficulty if he does not give him the adequate protection of his consciousness. Parikshit Maharaj gives us the example and the strength, all of us, to understand how to live even in the face of death, even in the face of being cursed. Because in 1:1848 of Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadeva Goswami says the devotees of the Lord are cursed, neglected, cheated, sometimes even killed. And they are always disturbed. Material nature is such, it always does this to devotees. Now if you look at all these different things, Mataji, you'll find that in Bhagavatam, every devotee has come as an example of each of these harassments. But they have shown us how they have withstood the harassment. Draupadi showed us how to withstand the harassment by completely surrendering to Krishna. She showed us that with one hand and half a hand up, Krishna may hear, but he demands an entire surrender. So if these devotees were perfect, Mataji, then when we read Bhagavatam, everything is perfect. Then when we are in trouble, how do we use Bhagavatam? There is no manual for us. But now when we know Gajendra was bitten for 1,000 years, if we are caught by a crocodile for 5 seconds, what should we do? At least now we know. We know that we have to chant. We know that. We know if someone dishonors us, like Draupadi was dishonored, we know what we should do. We should chant, we should depend on Krishna. If these devotees who are pure devotees were not put in situations of difficulties and did not appear to be imperfect, we who are thoroughly imperfect will never have the opportunity to learn from sastras. That's why these devotees are dear to the Lord. It's like someone asking you, who are an actor, you're always playing the hero. One day the director comes and says, today I want you to play villain. You say, no, I don't want to be villain. But a dream actor is someone who says, director, whoever you want me to be, I will be. Same way Krishna is Supreme Director. He tells Arjuna, be a villain for a while. Become weak. Lose your composure. Become very soft. And then I will fire you in Bhagavad Gita and everybody else will learn from you. It takes a lot for a pure devotee to behave in a manner that appears as if he is nothing. But it shows the greatness of the devotees. Devotees are ready to do anything that Krishna wants them to do. I hope that helps more. So that is the appreciation of that. Let's chant Krishna's names. That's the best thing. So now when we chant, we should really be very clear about why we chant. We are not chanting so that Krishna, please let me get married. No. Those who are not married, they pray to Krishna, please get me married. Those who marry, they say, Krishna, how I wish I was not married. Those who are married, they don't have children, they say, Krishna, please give me children. Those who have many children, they say, Krishna, why did you give me children? So in material world, we are never satisfied. So to pray for these things is a waste of time. This is not pure bhakti. Rather, we should now chant and say, Krishna, please just give me the opportunity to serve the lotus feet of the devotees and to always serve the lotus feet. In that mood, we will become peaceful. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare 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 Rama, Rama Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare 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 Rama, Rama Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.